Winning means winning for the American people, that either we win or whoever wins understands the priorities of the American people, and they are not what President Bush, excuse me, I'm so sorry, President Bush. I never thought I'd pray for the day that you were president again, but...
You're praying for the day that President Bush is president again?
Well, we worked, and so you asked the question, how would I work with a Republican president? The way we worked with President Bush. We got a great deal accomplished. We opposed him on the war in Iraq vociferously. We opposed him on his privatization of Social Security, but we worked with him on many other issues.
Will you pinch me?
Yeah, it was going on.
I think I'm dreaming.
Yeah, that was...
She was trying to cover up for the fact that she called out the wrong president.
Right. But, I mean, she seemed to have not liked President Bush in every way. Although President Bush reached out to her the first day he lost the House. He said, come on over, let's meet and see where we can work together.
But at the end of his administration, I mean, the Democrats were all 100% seemingly squarely against George W. Bush.
And she was against the surge, which, by the way, worked, as does Senator Obama.
Just goes to show you how the power of 8 or 9 years.
I know. That's what, I mean, we've all been guilty of accidentally saying President Barack Obama instead of President Trump, because it's only been 100 days. But that was like 10 years ago when President Bush was in office.
All right, let's bring in former Lieutenant Colonel Alan West, Executive Director, National Center for Policy Analysis, and a former U.S. Congressman and a Fox News contributor as well. Good morning to you, sir.
Morning.
Good morning. How are you all doing?
Good. Is Nancy Pelosi misremembering her cooperation with President Bush? That was when you were probably still in uniform most of those days.
Yeah, I don't think she's misremembering. I mean, that was some very tenuous moments. And when you talk about how they stood vociferously against the Iraq war, look at what we have to deal with now when you have the support to President Obama completely withdrawing all the troops out of there. We created a vacuum. When we had victory, now we had defeat.
Colonel, what do you make of the Democrats' criticism of our new President Trump so far, 102 days in?
Well, I think the most important thing we have to come to realize is the Democrats have not gone back to the strategy table and really assessed themselves from a policy perspective to understand why they lost. They continue to, denigrate, demean, and attack other people and not look at themselves and say, what can we do to improve? What can we do to improve our relations with the American people? I think that there is a poll that says 67 to 70% of Americans believe the Democrat Party is out of touch with the American people. And I'm here in my hometown of Atlanta for the NRA convention, the 146th, and for people to not understand that the Americans have a Second Amendment right and they should be able to defend and protect themselves, this is something that the Democrat Party and the progressive socialists thereof are against. So that once again shows how they're out of touch with mainstream America.
You know, go ahead, sir.
Colonel Susan Rice resurfaced, and she's back in the media now, and she's criticizing President Trump right now on his national security. Listen to this, and then we'll get your reaction.
The United States, Fareed, is supposed to be the grown-up at the dinner table. We're not supposed to be the crazy aunt in the attic that nobody knows what is going to do next. That unpredictability may be useful to somebody like Kim Jong-un in North Korea. It's not the way the United States is supposed to act, and I think our allies have been off balance and uncertain in a way that doesn't serve our interests.
So is the president the crazy aunt in the attic?
Well, I got to tell you, why would you have Susan Rice, a person with no credibility, out on the show talking about national security? And if she wants to refer to the Trump administration as the crazy aunt in the attic, we know that the Obama administration was the whiny, snotty-nosed little crying child in a dirty diaper. Look, our allies now know that the United States of America stands for something. We have a deterrent force. We have a credible military option that can back up our foreign policy strategy. You did not see that in the years of Obama administration. There was no foreign policy or national security success that the Obama administration can point back to. And again, why would you have someone that has such a dearth of credibility when it comes to truthfulness as Susan Rice talking about national security?
Colonel, before you go, what do you think about the direction this president is heading with North Korea?
Well, I think the most important thing, and again, I was stationed on the Korean Peninsula in 1995. If you remember, in 1994, Bill Clinton gave a speech about his nuclear arms treaty that he made with North Korea, and we see where that has gotten us. We have got to stand up to this dictator and this despot, Kim Jong-un, but most importantly, we have to put the pressure on China to take control of the situation in North Korea, or Korean Peninsula will be unified and allied to the United States of America. So I think we're on the right track to standing up.
Are you against the concept of having South Korea paid for the THAAD missile system, which cost $1 billion, and it's us protecting them?
Well, I think one of the most important things is when we have these status of forces agreements, we need to make sure that we have agreements that mutually support what we're doing and not have the entire financial onus placed upon the United States of America. We cannot continue to go on and, provide our services and our defense capabilities without people assisting us, and that's what allies should do.
All right. Colonel West, thank you very much for joining us today from Atlanta. Travel safely.
My pleasure.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
All right, Colonel.